Hi thinkers, welcome to the data structures in Python course on thinkexacademy.com. In this video, we are going to cover the find union algorithm in the section 7.6. We have already covered a lot of graph data structure related algorithms like Dijkstra's algorithm, and find union is one such algorithm which is really important because it will be useful in finding and detecting the cycle inside of an undirected graph. So I'm going to write a Python program also to use this find union algorithm to implement the detection of the cycles in undirected graph. And find union is also used in a variety of competitive programming problems and interviews also. So make sure to watch this video till the end because this is really very important tutorial. So before starting with the find union algorithm, we will first have to understand about disjoint sets, which is basically you can consider it as a data structure that we are covering here inside this tutorial. So just consider this set we are given, and let's assume that this set initially has 5 elements, or let's consider it has 6 elements from 0 to 5. Now what I want to do is, let's say I want to actually achieve the partitioning inside of this set, or I want to create the subsets inside this set, right? So let's say I want subsets which is 0, and I want another subset which is 1, 2, 3, and I want another subset which is 4, 5. So whenever in any type of problem where we want to partition a given subset, a given set into a given subsets, we will use the find union algorithm to actually form this type of data structure. And it is also useful in scenarios when we are actually talking about a relationship between some data elements inside of the given set, right? So here you can see that 1, 2 and 3 are closely related, so we have put them in a single set and we are actually calling it as a subset. To achieve this type of a data structure, we will use the find union algorithm, and as this whole algo, as the name suggests, it will consider two very important operations. The first one is the find operation or the find function. What it does is it returns the parent of the subset the element belongs to, right? So let's suppose I want to find out whether an element belongs to which subset. So let's assume that these three sets, or you can say that these three subsets here, they have we have assigned, and we are going to assign one element out of each of them as the parent element which will represent the set, right? So since you can see in the first one we have only one element, so this one is going to be the parent element, and here we have 1, 2, 3 in this subset. So let's assume that we are going to assign 3 as the parent, right? So this arrow represents the parent inside of this subset, and let's assume in case of this 4 is the parent, right? So if I want to find out, right, so if I will execute the function find, or we can also write it as a find parent function, and let's say I will call find parent 2, right? So if I will give it the value 2, it is going to find out the parent of the subset where this element actually belongs, right? So you can see that it belongs to this subset and the parent of this subset is actually 3. Right, so we are going to use the find function which will give us the parent of the subset the element belongs to, right? The second operation is the very important operation which is known as the union operation, and what it simply does is it combines two subsets, right? It will just combine two subsets. So let's suppose I want to make another subset which is a combination of these two given subsets. So that subset is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this whole subset can be formed by using the union, and what union does is it combines two subsets, and the strategy that we are going to use in the algorithm is that instead of actually adding it inside of another subset, what we can do is we can actually point the parent of one subset to another, right? So this is a very good strategy. So we are going to use this union operation, and what it will essentially do is it will just point the parent. So you can see the parent in here is 3. It is just going to now get changed to 5. So that way we can achieve that also, right? So now we are going to see how logically we can actually divide a given set in the partitions or given subsets using these two operations, which is find and union operation, right? So let's start with the algorithm part. So first of all, we are going to assume that we are given a set which is here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first step is to create a set which we will call as the parent set. And initially this parent set will contain all the items which are originally there inside of our given set, which means that each of these elements represent that each and every element is initially a subset of its own, right? So here, after we do this, we are going to get a logical representation something like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and they all are actually now subsets. So you can see that this parent array has position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 is the position, right? So let's assume that this is I. So the I is the position, and if the position is equal to the item inside of the parent, we are going to say that this is the actual parent of this node, right? So 0 is a parent of itself, 1 is a parent of itself, 2 is a parent of itself, and so on. Now we are going to change these values according to the parent so that we can obtain these subsets, right? So let's see how we can do that. So the first step is done. We have created a parent set, which is actually just a representation of all of these subsets initially, right? So now let's say in this given set, I want to, you can see, achieve this type of partition. So if I want to create a subset 1, 2, 3, I will first have to combine 1 and 2, right? So in the second step, I want to combine the elements 1 and the element 2, right? So we can only combine one item at a time. We cannot combine 3 times, right? We can first we will combine 1 and 2, and then we will combine 3, right? So if we want to combine 2 elements, it can be 1 or 2 elements, and it can be subsets also. So whenever we want to combine 2 elements, the first operation that we are going to perform is find 1 and find 2, right? So these are the two elements that we need to perform, and find 1 and find 2 are basically the are going to find the parents of 1 and 2, right? So whenever we want to combine 2 elements or 2 subsets, we first find out the parent of that subset, because that is the only key of this algorithm, because we are only going to combine the parent of the 2 subsets or the parents itself, right? So you can see find parent of 1 and find parent of 2. We can find it from here in the given parent set. You can see that the parent of 1 is actually 1. So this will give me a value of 1, and let's say I store it in the value of x. So x is equals to 1 and y equals to 2, right? So y is actually representing find 2. So 2 is a parent of itself, so that's why the value of y is 2 here. Now what I'm going to do is, the next step is to perform the union, which we know is to combine these two sets, right? Which is 1 and 2. Now remember, the union function combines 2 subsets, but it actually does not combine 2 subsets, it combines the parent of these subsets, right? So 1 and 2 are the actual values. So the operation that we are going to perform here is parent of first position is going to be equal to 2, or generally I can write it as, if we want to perform the union of x comma y, I will just assign parent of x equals to y. Now let's understand why we are doing this. So once we perform union 1 2, which is to actually write the parent 1 equals to 2, let's see what our parent array is going to look like, right? So 0 will remain the same. Parent, the first position is going to be equal to 2, so instead of 1 I am going to write here 2. Then 2 will remain same, then we have 3, then we have 4, then we have 5, right? So we have obtained this set here, or this array here. Now you can observe that in this array we have one set which is 0, we have another subset which represents 2 comma 2, and actually here we have 1 comma 2, which are the positions. Since these two are equal parents, we are going to say that these two are under the same subset, and then we have another subset which is 3, 4 and 5, right? So what essentially this means is that 1 and 2 have the same values, which is 2, right? So it means that they belong to the same subset, and 2 means we have assigned the value 2 here. We could have assigned it 1 also, but we have assigned it 2 here because we want to make the later one as the parent, right? So I am actually trying to make this one as the parent value, right? So what this now represents is that 2 is the parent of this whole subset, and since these have equal values, they belong to the same subset, right? So you can actually see here that what we are actually trying to do is we are actually trying to logically form subsets of a particular given set, right? So if you are given this set here, now you can see that I have logically divided it into 4 subsets here, which is 0, this is 1, and this is 2, then this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. So 5 subsets are there now. Now what I want to do is I want to insert 3 inside of this one, right? So here you can see I have this subset 1, 2, 3. So if I want this subset, I will have to make sure that this 3 subset, I will have to combine these two, right? So let's see how I can do that. Again, we are going to follow the same thing, which is what we want to do is we want to actually now combine that. Now what we want to achieve is we want to combine the subset 1 comma 2 and the subset 3, right? So let's see how we can do this. The first thing that we need to do is find 1 and find 2, but remember that find is actually going to find the parent, right? So what I will do is, instead of combining 1 and 2, the parent of this set is actually 2. So what I am trying to do is I am trying to combine 2 and 3, right? So if I say combine 2 and 3, the first thing I need to do is find the parent of 2 and find the parent of 3, right? So what is the parent of 2? Here you can see from the parent array, at the second position the parent is 2. So if both the values that we are given in this find function are equal, we are going to say that it is the parent, right? So here I am just going to write the algorithm or the definition of the find function, or let's say it is a find parent function. We are given some element, let's say a. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether the value of a is equal to find, not find, it should be the parent array, right? So we have this parents array, and I'm just going to check whether it is equal to the value which is given here. So you can see here, if a is equals to parent position a, it means that we have the element is already the parent of itself. So in that case, I am just simply going to return the value. So return a is going to actually return the parent itself, right? So if that is not the case, which you can see here, that now if you consider the first position inside of the parent here, you can see the value of a, if I will choose it instead of find 2, if I will write find 1 and find 3, it will also be a same thing, right? So these two are actually the same thing, right? You can actually do this one or you can do this one. So if you do the first step, which is find 2 and find 3, 2 is the parent of itself and 3 is the parent of itself. So the value of x will be 2 and the value of y will be equal to 3, right? But in the case of find 1 and find 3, you can see when I will call the function find 1, the value of a is equals to 1, right? So a is equals to 1 here. And what is the value of parent of a, which is parent of 1? So at the first position you can see the value is 2, right? So I'm going to write here that the parent of a, which is 1, is equal to 2. So now you can see that this condition, which is if a is equals to parent of a, is now false because 1 is not equal to 2. In that case we will write the else case, right? So what we just want to do is we want to reach the parent node, because we can only perform the union operation on the parent nodes only, right? So you can see here these two are the parent nodes only, then only we can actually combine the two subsets, right? In the first case, since find 2 will already give the parent, which is 2, we have returned it, and in case of 3 also it is the parent of itself, so we do not have problem there. So the value of x becomes 2 and the value of y becomes 3. But if let's say you make a call to find 1 and find 3, the value of y you can see will remain 3, because find of 3 will actually give me the value of 3, because a is equals to parent of 3, right? So it will give me a value of 3. Now let's see what is the value of x. So in the else case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make a recursive call to the find parent function. So what is the idea? The idea is very simple, that we want to reach the parent, because that's the essential motive of find parent function. It finds the parent of any given element inside of any subset, and once we have found out the parent, we can actually do the combining part, which is the union part, right? So find parent, and I will give the value a here, or I should write here this is a function. Inside this I will give the value itself, which is parent of a. So take a look at this important line here. What we are doing here is making a recursive call, right? So find parent of a. Now you can see that initially we were calling the find parent function with a value of 1, and since you can see a is not equal to parent of a, 1 is not equal to 2, we are making a recursive call on the parent of a. So here you can see parent of a is actually 2 here. So now this will make a recursive call to the find parent, right? And instead of a, I am giving parent of a, and you can see parent of a is actually 2 here, right? So it is now going to give the value 2. So find parent of 2 is actually 2 itself. So again it will come here, right? So the recursive call will come here. The value of a is now equal to 2, and parent of 2 is equals to 2, so it is going to return the parent, right? So this is a very important step here, which I am going to mark it as a star here, because it actually returns the parent. We are making recursive call, and at each recursion I am actually giving the parent of the given node, right? And we are not going to return the value until and unless we obtain the values of the parent, right? Until and unless the value that we are passing is equals to the parent of a, we are not going to return out of this loop, out of this function, right? So now you can see here the value of x will be equal to 2. So irrespective of what call you make, the value of x and y will remain same, and as we know that the next step will be union of 2, 3, and we know how to combine 2, 3. We will just use parent of x, which is 2, will be equal to 3. So now the parent set is going to look something like this. The first element is 0, the second element is 1, the 0th element is 0, the first element has become 2, but the second element has become 3. The third element was already 3, and then we have 4, and then we have 5 here. So this is now our parent set after combining 2 and 3. So what can you see here? From here you can see that 0 is a subset, right? At 0th position we have a subset. At first position we have a parent 2. So here if I will show you that we have 2 here, and 2 is the parent of 1, and here you can see at if we go to the 2 position, the second position says that 3 is the parent of 2, so 3 is here. and then at 3 we have the parent, so we are going to say that this is actually the parent, right? So we have obtained this whole subset here 1, 2, 3, which has 3 as a parent, and similarly we will do the same step with 4 and 5 also. We are going to call these functions. Alright, so let's see how we can use the find union algorithm to detect a cycle in an undirected graph. So basically we are going to apply the same concepts, and if you haven't understood any concept before, you will understand with the help of this example. So it is undirected graph. So let's take a very simple example of a graph, which is, let's take only just 3 elements inside of this graph, which has these 3 elements, and let's make it a cyclic graph. Now we want to use find union algorithm to actually just find out whether there are cycles in a graph, and let's add some more elements like 3. So what is the idea? The idea is very simple. What we are going to do is we will pick up any one node, right? We will start picking up one and each nodes inside of this graph one by one. So initially let's say that we pick up 0 as the node, right? So let's say I have picked 0. Now what I will do is, after picking up 0, I will find all the neighbors of 0, right? So the next step is to find the neighbors, and we know that we can do that easily by traversing inside of the dictionary by using a for loop. And when we will find the neighbors, what we are going to do is we are going to add all the neighbors inside of a single subset. So you can see that 0 is connected to 1 and it is also connected to 2. So this will form one subset, right? So we are going to do the same with all the other nodes also. So we will do that with 1 also. We will find the neighbors one by one and we will keep adding them to the subset, which is like this. So 1 is connected to 0 and it is also connected to 2, then 3, and so on, right? We will do that for each and every of these subsets. So for each and every node, what I will do is I will find the neighbor. That is the step 1. The step 2 is that I will do a union of the neighbors and the node itself, right? So I'm going to do the union of the node and the given neighbor, right? So if we will have n number of neighbors, we are going to call this union function n number of times. And in order to perform a union, we will have to also write a check statement. We will have to first find the parent of the node and the parent of the neighbor, right? So find parent of node will actually give me what is the parent of that particular node. And if we want to find a cycle in a graph, we can actually use this condition, which is if the value of if the parent of the any node which we have picked is actually equal to the parent of the neighbor, right? Which means that if I will run this find parent function on, let's say, the neighbor node, and if these two values are equal, it means that we have actually obtained a cycle in a graph, right? So that graph will be cyclic. You can understand this condition. It is very simple. We will use the find parent function to find the parent of any given node, and if the parent of that node, that which we have picked, is equal to the parent of any of the neighbors, right? If those two parents are equal, it means that they belong to the same subset. So it basically means that it belongs to same subsets, and since they belong to the same subset, it means that it is forming a cycle in the graph, right? So let's see how we can write this whole algorithm inside of Python. Alright, so let's start writing the code for the given problem. So let's first create a main function here. So I will create a main function if name is equals to main, then we are inside of the main function. And now what I'm just going to do is I am going to create a graph data structure here, and this graph data structure is actually going to be a dictionary. So we will use these curly brackets here, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to we will have 0 node, and 0 is actually has two neighbors, which is 1 comma 2. Then we have the second node, which is 1, and 1 is connected to 0, and it is also connected to, you can see here that 1 is connected to 0 and 2, but it's already there inside of this above set, so I'm going to leave an empty list here. Okay, so let's move on to 2. The node 2 is connected to 0 and 1, right? So I'm just going to write here, I'm going to leave this empty, and I'm going to write 2 here because 1 is connected to 2 and 1 is connected to 2, so 2 is also connected to 1, and here we have already mentioned that 2 is connected to 0, so we do not need to write anything inside of the 2 because it does not have any neighbors, right? It has been already covered here. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a class disjoint set, and inside of this class I'm going to first, we know that the first step is to create a parent list, and initially this list contains the all the nodes that we have. So 0, 1 and 2 will be here. So it basically initially represents that 0 is the parent of itself, 1 is has a parent of itself, and 2 is also the parent of itself. So if I try to access parent of 1, it will give me the value 1, and similarly 0 and 2, right? So these are the parents of each itself. So we have created separate subsets for each of these values. Now I'm going to define a function find parent here, and this find parent is going to take a keyword self and the value which is a, right? So here we will write the definition of the find parent function. So the first thing is we need to first case is that if the value of a is equal to self dot parent kth position, if this is true, then what we are just going to do is we are just going to return a, right? So we have already seen this case here, so it should be a here, not k, right? So we are actually returning the value of a here whenever we find that the element is there. Else what we are going to do is simply we are going to make a recursive call to the find parent function, and inside this I will pass the self dot parent a position, right? So we have already seen that inside of the introduction part. So here I'm returning this find parent is not defined, it says. So actually it is going to be self dot find parent, right? So we will have to use self to represent that we are actually creating to the object of disjoint class, right? So we will have to actually create a ds which is an object of this class disjoint set, and I will use this ds object to call these function find parent. And now let's move on to the next function, which is also very simple to implement, which is the union function, and it will also take 3 elements, which is self and a comma b, right? A comma b, or let's write x comma y. And we know that the simplest implementation is just assign the parent of this x will be equal to y, right? We have already seen this part also. So these are just simple representation of the parent function and the the find parent function and union function. Here we can also say instead of writing else here, I can just write that if a is not equal to self dot parent a position, then we are going to make recursive calls, right? So now we have these two functions ready. Now let's call these functions and let's make a call to these functions and see how it is going to look inside of a graph data structure. So first of all, we need to pick up one element from the graph. For that we can actually use this simple for loop for I in graph, And now since we want to actually traverse the neighbors, we are actually going to use another loop for j in graph ith position, right? So what we are actually doing is we pick up an element from a graph which is at the ith position and we find out all of these neighbors. So j represents the neighbors at 0 position, 1 position and 2 position. So initially I will be equal to 0 because it's the first element of the graph, which you can see here we have picked it from this for loop. And now what we will do is we are fetching the value of j will be equal to 1 and 2. So what we want to do is we want to actually find the parent of 0 and we need to find the parent of j also and I, and then we are going to see whether they are equal or not, right? If they are equal, we are going to say that there is a cycle in the graph, else we are going to do the union part. So here what I am simply going to do is I am going to write I'm going to create a value x here, and this will be equal to ds dot find parent, and inside of this find parent I am going to actually pass the ith value, right? So we will find the parent of the node that we have picked and the parent of the neighbor also, right? So here I am going to write a comment here that we are actually calculating the parent of node, and here we are actually trying to find the parent of neighboring node, right? Or just parent of neighbor. Now we know that if the parent of this node and the parent of neighbor, if these two values are equal, it means that these two have the same parent, and if they have the same parent, it means that a cycle is being formed. So what I'm just going to write here is a case that if the value of x is equals to the value of y, right? So make sure to leave the right indentation here also. It should be inside of this for loop, and if x equals to y, I'm just going to print here that it is a cyclic graph, right? Else what we are going to do is we are going to take the union. So I'm going to call the ds dot union function, and I'm going to pass it two values, which is x comma y, which is not x comma y, yeah, it's x comma y, which is the parent. So remember that the union function is going to make the union of two subsets, and make sure you give the parent and not the element, right? So you cannot give the value of I, j to the union. You will have to find the parent of I and the parent of j, and then you will have to give it to the union function, right? So this is the whole program. So here you can see that we are actually going to run this program, and let's take a look at whether it is running properly. And I'm just going to run this file to see what is the output of this find.py file here. So you can see it shows that it is a cyclic graph, right? So basically that's all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching.